always believed New York was a city that held you close until it started to suffocate you. By day, it's alive. The buzz of NYU's campus in Greenwich Village, lecture halls smelling of old books and burnt coffee, friends laughing over greasy slices in Washington Square Park. But after midnight, the city changes. It becomes something ancient, wet, indifferent. A beast made of steel, concrete, and forgotten screams. My name is Ethan Brooks, 21. I live in a cramped studio in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. Every night I come home on the last train, not because I'm brave, just because that's how the hours fall. The Bobst library kicks everyone out at 1. Essays don't write themselves, and the subway is the only thing still running when the city finally exhales. I always sit in the last car. Habit. It's quieter there. Fewer people. Fewer conversations I have to pretend to ignore. That week, the habit turned into something else. Monday, the N train arrived 7 minutes late. Doors hissed open like a long-held breath finally released. The car was empty except for me and the flickering fluorescent lights that pulsed like a dying heartbeat. I dropped into a seat by the window, pressed my forehead against the cold glass. Outside, the black ribbon of the East River and the distant sparkle of Manhattan lights. Stars you can never reach. At 8th Street, she boarded, a tall silhouette first, too tall. Black coat down to her ankles, velvet collar, cut like something from 1910, hood pulled low. She walked the entire length of the car, slow, deliberate, then stopped directly in front of me and sat, feet in cracked leather boots placed neatly together, like she was attending her own funeral. The air turned colder, not from the AC, from her. The smell hit me. Wet soil, old incense, faint copper. I stared at my phone, but my peripheral vision caught her hands. Long gray fingers, skin cracked like ancient porcelain, dropped and badly glued back together. Black dirt packed under the nails, as though she'd been clawing through earth for decades. She didn't blink. When we crossed the Manhattan Bridge, wind rattled the windows and the hood slipped back just enough. I saw her face, deathly pale, sunken cheeks stretched tight over bone, eyes, two bottomless black pits with slow swirling white motes inside, like snow trapped in a broken snow globe. Lips a thin black seam, stitched shut with invisible thread. "You always choose the last car, Ethan," she said, voice low and layered, as though 100 dead mouths spoke at once from somewhere beneath the floor. I said nothing. My heart hammered against my ribs like it wanted out. She leaned forward, the coat creaked, and I watched the fabric slide straight through the metal handrail, like smoke passing through a ghost. I used to ride home late too. 1923, wooden cars back then. There was a boy. He sat in the last car just like you. The lights flickered. When they steadied, she was gone. Only a single lock of black hair remained on the opposite seat, wet, with tiny flecks of skin still clinging to the roots. I walked home shaking. All night I felt someone counting my breaths from the corner of the room. Tuesday was worse. Seminar ran long, then rain came down in sheets. Uber was $80. I couldn't afford it. So I took the last R, almost empty. 2 sleeping vagrants in the corner. Me. At Prince Street he boarded. The doll. Tall, thin, dressed in a 1940s suit. Perfectly pressed, yet worn threadbare at the elbows and knees. No face, just an enormous porcelain mask. White, spider-webbed with fine cracks running from temples to chin. Eye sockets perfectly round black voids leaking slow, tar-like tears. No mouth, just a wide, painted red smile that looked freshly licked, still wet. He sat beside me, not across, right next to me, shoulder brushing mine. The smell was unbearable. Sweet vanilla, old carpenter's glue, and underneath, rotting meat left too long in a warm room. The mask turned toward me. No sound from the painted lips, but inside my skull a voice spoke, childlike, yet warped, playing through a scratched gramophone. "You're not afraid to sit this close, Ethan?" A hand settled on my thigh. Not flesh, porcelain, cold, smooth, but beneath the surface something soft and warm pulsed, alive, squirming. My skin burned under the denim. "I was a boy once," the voice continued. "Mother said, 'Don't cry,' so she sewed my mouth shut, then my eyes. Then the train jolted. A new crack split the mask. Something pink and glistening pushed through, like a tongue tasting the air. At the next stop he rose, walked to the doors, and shattered, not vanished, shattered. Porcelain shards, cloth scraps, dark wet clumps. On the floor, one mother-of-pearl button and a tiny, perfect child's finger bone. I didn't pick anything up. Wednesday. By Wednesday, I was terrified. But I couldn't stay on campus. Dorm closed. Last F, completely empty. Even the automated announcements were silent. At Delancey Street, she entered. A woman in a bright floral 1950s dress. The fabric looked brand new, but underneath, something writhed, like thousands of thin worms trying to push through. Hair dripping wet, although it hadn't rained in days. Face pretty, round cheeks, dimples, but eyes yellow, slit pupils, glowing faintly. When she smiled, her teeth were black, rotting, threads of black cotton caught between them. She sat opposite me, leaned in until I felt the heat of her breath, hot, thick with grave dirt and old blood. "Want to know how I died, sweet Ethan?" Her voice was soft, almost maternal. That made it worse. I shook my head. "I'll tell you anyway. Then I'll tell you how you die." She spoke the words slowly, each one crawling into my ears like insects. She described me slipping on wet tile at 34th Street Station, my neck snapping, lying across the tracks while the train approached slowly, agonizingly slowly, feeling every vertebra crack, eyes open, watching her stand over me, smiling. When she finished, she showed me her palm, a tattoo in my own handwriting, a date, 19 days from now. The train had been standing at my station for 3 full minutes, doors wide open. I ran. Behind me, soft, loving laughter. "See you soon, baby." Thursday, I tried to escape. Crashed at a friend's place in the Lower East Side. Woke at 3 a.m. feeling fingers stroking my hair. Room empty. On the pillow, a lock of black hair with scraps of scalp still attached. I had to go home. Friday broke me. Last N. The car was full, but no one moved. Passengers sat like department store mannequins, eyes open, mouths slack, all staring at the same invisible point. In the center, they waited, already together. The witch, hood gone, face veined with thick black lines that throbbed like living wires. The doll, mask shattered, real face underneath, crudely stitched skin, empty eye sockets weeping black. The woman, dress soaked dark, ribs pressing visibly against the fabric, something crawling beneath. They watched me. 3 smiles in perfect unison. Lights flickered. When they returned, they were 1 row closer. "We've been waiting for you, Ethan," they said together. 3 voices braided into one. Saturday, I came to the platform on my own. Legs moved without permission. Last train, empty car. They stood by the doors, not sitting, just standing. Witch, skin peeling in long strips like old wallpaper. Doll, black blood dripping steadily from mask fractures. Woman, dress drenched, ribs now clearly visible, moving independently. You could have left any night, they said, but you kept coming back, because part of you already belongs to us. The tunnel ended. Beyond the windows, not Brooklyn, a black and white city. 1920s, gas lamps, men in fedoras, women in cloche hats, all of them standing on the platform, staring at me with dead white eyes. Sunday, final night. Train arrived at exactly 2 o'clock. They were already inside, merged. One body wearing scraps of dress, coat, and suit sewn together in a grotesque patchwork. 3 faces fused at the center. Porcelain mask, black-haired witch, yellow-eyed woman. 6 arms, cracked, stitched, veined. 3 mouths leaking dark fluid. 6 eyes, black voids, yellow slits, empty porcelain sockets. I sat across from it. "Choose, Ethan," it said in my own voice. "Stay with us, or leave. But if you leave, every night on the last car you'll hear us call your name, and one night you'll answer." I stared at the cracks, the rot, the stitches, the emptiness. Then I stood. I choose to remember. All 3 mouths stretched into a smile that spanned the width of the car. The train stopped. Doors opened. I stepped onto the platform. Behind me, a soft, eternal voice. "We're not leaving, Ethan. We live inside you now." I no longer ride the last car, but sometimes, when the train stalls in the tunnel, I feel cold porcelain fingers on my thigh. And 3 voices, my own voice, speak directly into my ear. Next stop, forever. I still hear them. They never stop.